Okay, we're recording.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. We are excited today. I am always excited when I get a chance to work with David Roberts because he brings a level of just experience and wisdom to the table that not everybody's got. So, when David first said, "Hey, Christine, I think you'd like this platform we call BeeKonnected. Come play with me," I was like, "All right, tell me more." And if David recommends something, I got to say, I'm usually going to take at least a couple of glances at it and then dive in with both feet. So, that's kind of what I do when David recommends things. So he really brings a special knowledge to the table. And so BeeKonnected, this is the place you want to play. And I'm excited. Oh, and we have Nathan here too. Yay! We are going to have a great time today.
All right. Well, and Christine, so those of you who don't know Christine, she's known as the DFW networking diva. We both have met in the networking space. And if you know anything about networking, it's about building relationships. It's both getting to know people. And as you go, there are people that you realize have massive value, can help you along your journey. And Christine is one of those folks that I have. We're doing a lot of things now on this platform, and we're going to do more together. So I love that opportunity. And Nathan and I have known each other for quite a long time, and we weren't kind of in the world that he's in today, although he was in real estate at that time. But he is a influencer's influencer. He's a trainer, a teacher, a coach. He's done a lot of things as well. So I just love having on this show when we talk about things, and we're not going to like wade through every bit and bite, but the whole thing is when we talk about attracting influencers, it's really attracting them into a conversation about things where we might share some opportunities to provide mutual value. It's not just us providing with them as well as them also giving us some value back. Because the deals, as we always said, when I did multi-billion-dollar deals, we always said it's got to be a win-win. I mean, it's not just us closing the deal and we get benefit. The client has to also benefit from it, and then usually there's multiple wins beyond that because there's other players. So welcome Nathan and Christine, and we'll get started here. So today's topic, last time we talked on the BeeKonnected What in the World, we were kind of focused on premium content, the value of that to coaches and so on. And in this episode, I wanted to talk about this thing we call P3, this opportunity and let me explain what that is. Actually, what I'm going to do is bring up that widget or that slide that talks about the P3. So let me bring that up just so that we can easily visualize what that looks like. So
right. It's such a unique concept that it takes a minute to kind of wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, and as Christine says, it is something because it hasn't been there. One of the things when we talk about, basically it allows you to do for the webinar host, let's say, or the person leading the event. It could be a leader of a company, of a network marketing company. It could be a leader of a large organization. But anyway, they can set up a show, an event, something that they can go to market with, and they can reward and enable all of the people that might want to refer people to, whether they're representatives, consultants, whatever they call business owners, to that, and immediately get credit for that without having to worry about chasing people down, following up, making sure that they get it, and so on. So we can talk a little bit about that. There are, you have images, branded images, and with hot button links for future things. So there's a lot of attributes of this. And I don't want to get into all the value because the questions really are things about those things. So what if you could do an event, and then I think Christine has used the term evergreen. We talk about evergreen content where the links, really the calls to action, the opportunity for people to respond lives on in the recording or in the replay, which is powerful in and of itself. The ability of on the BeeKonnected platform to really promote your events and re-promote and have them available on our new Netflix-like dashboard where you can see replays as well as the live events. And then you also, the guest attendees are immediately allocated. So when you think about those capabilities in the P3, when you're talking to a prospect or even as they're processing that, what kind of questions? I'm going to, since Christine introduced me, I'm going to ask Nathan, and Nathan and I have been in some network marketing space together before. We've been into some direct sales where we're getting that attribution and some of those functions didn't exist. And the only way to really do that was in live meetings. Now that we're doing things virtually, that's been a gap, and I see people filling that. Nathan, what are your thoughts or questions around that you would, when you were talking to influencers, because you're a recruiter? I mean, that's part of kind of what you're doing, right?
Yeah. So my initial thought, like anytime I want to think about something, I want to think about like, put myself in their shoes, right? If I can put myself in their shoes, because honestly, right, Dave, you just mentioned it. Like I've been in network marketing and different organizations. I've been in some with you, and I go back to the days when we had those live meetings or home parties and doing all those things. And of course, we know that in person is the absolute best way to convert people, right? Because there's emotion, there's all that stuff that's there. Yet when COVID and a bunch of other things started coming along where virtual became the way of doing things, this actually opened up a whole new opportunity for those in that space. And one of the biggest challenges when I put myself in their shoes, what's the biggest challenge? Well, it's not hard right now. Anybody listening to this could go up to the top right of this thing, hit that little red X button, and bye-bye, see you later. They disappear, right? Yeah. So my question is one of them could be like, hey, what is the biggest challenge that you've been facing? Do people like bug out, and what's your conversion rate been like? I mean, I can go through a whole list of stuff, but really get into those, like the pain of what they're feeling, and then bringing it back to what is the solution, which we're talking about today with P3.
Perfect. Yeah. And Christine, what about you? What are your thoughts there as it pertains to whether it's direct sales, network marketing, a coach with a program, an event? Lot of things, a lot of opportunities to promote things in the area and then convert or give people the opportunity to deal with problems that they would have without the P3 system. What are your thoughts?
Well, I know for me, my background being Mary Kay, so I'm familiar with the multi-level marketing and then all that and recruiting, right? Anybody has a recruiting position, right? Um, and there's some other organizations I'm involved with that do that also, like the Great Discovery and stuff. And the idea is you want to bring people in and you want them under your number, under your referral link, under your, right, getting credit. And what that happens is we lose that concept of abundance and we start thinking competitively rather than abundance and getting everybody to an event. I don't know if I want to invite people because someone else might take credit for it or they might sign up under someone else, right? And I hear that kind of stuff. This kind of eliminates that. So for me, right, it's like, how can we promote something, an event or something that we want everybody at without everybody feeling like, oh, it's competition and not like, let's think together as a group, right?
Yeah. That's such a great point, because I think also too, like, especially, and I'm going to stay in the network marketing space for a minute. Like, who are the first people that you typically go to whenever you're like promoting something for the first time? It's family and friends, right? Well, then if you're going to your family and friends, but you find out they're already signed up under somebody else and that conflict comes into place, Christine, what you're just saying, that's what came up for me. I'm like, this does eliminate that so that whoever does truly send the invite is the one that gets the credit. The one who does the work gets the credit.
Right. That's huge, right? The idea of, you put the effort and the time into something that you should get the compensation for that, right? So you can understand the mindset at the same time, but then that discourages those group events, which can be really powerful.
Yeah, because frankly, in all of those things, you want a true leader and a true influencer in any category is really going to want the people that they're influencing to have some success, right? So the question is, why don't your people, your followers, those people that would invite people to your events, whatever they might be, whether they're direct sales events or whether what is keeping them back? Because if you look at the statistics, there is some high level success. I mean, there's people that can make 6-digit incomes and so on in like network marketing or these other spaces, but there's a very small percentage. I mean, it's less than a 1%. So the question is, what would it look like if everybody that you had in your audience, your sphere of influence, what if they could all be as successful as you, or take advantage of your experience to build their own business? The real true leaders in that space. Now, that question might not appeal to somebody who's in it for themselves, and that's all they care about. But that's not usually the people that are successful, because those people, they're trying to get people to duplicate what they're doing so that they can collapse time themselves, right? I don't have to do everything. One of the reasons why I love this show and I love working with Christine, I love working with Nathan, is that I can, as we say, pour into them, or I can share them and I learn from them, but I also am helping them to do things that we mutually benefit from without me having to do everything myself. And that's when I think of leaders of the organization. And even if they've been so successful that they can hire support staff, then the questions I find is, and we talked about that with the Pampered Chef folks when we were talking on Friday, is okay, so you figured some of this stuff out, and your events are getting, relatively speaking, and by the way, everything's relative, right? Because frankly, conversion across the board in those things sucks. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying, if you looked at a high conversion, it's still a numbers game, right? But if you could have such a revolutionary conversion rate, it could actually move your organization within a direct sales company. Or what would it look like if all of a sudden and the average is 5% conversion? What if we doubled not only the conversion, but the consumption of those people because it was so easy to do.
Exactly.
Right?
What if we can get it so that your event that normally had 50 people now had 500 people, because all of the people that you're working with that you've brought in are not afraid to invite people because they know they're going to get credit for what they did, right? Once you eliminate that fear, the opportunities for collaboration, right, just expand exponentially. It's just,
Well,
it's amazing.
yeah, and I think also uh, okay, put yourself in the shoes of somebody new to a company. Where are you at? You're in a state of overwhelm, right? You're in a
Mhm.
constant state of overwhelm, trying to learn products, trying to learn how to sell and duplicate and do all these other things. And what this does, it actually provides a lot of simplicity, because, going back to that influencer, what am I asking? Like, okay, how are you systematizing and simplifying duplicating yourself?
Mhm.
And if you can duplicate yourself, and yeah, maybe you're the one doing the presentation for a little while, and you just teach your people to invite really well, right? And all they have to do is invite, and you're the master of doing the presentation. Great. You do the presentation until they're comfortable doing it. And then
Right.
once they do it, then they can then teach their people to go out and, start inviting and stuff. So instead of having to find these unicorns, like, you actually can go out here and you can find exactly what you need at that moment and help train them up to become those unicorns, right?
Well, anything you can do to simplify a process, right,
Yeah.
immediately makes it more successful, right? So when you can make this easy to get started, right? So like you said, especially the new people, right? Give them something easy and simple, and they're like, "Oh, all I did was invite them, and look, I made money! Yay!" They're catching on. Like it gives them a nice, quick win, right? And they're less likely to feel nervous about inviting people at that point,
Mhm.
right? It's like,
Well,
oh, they always start with, like you said, their friends and family. You're like, oh no, what MLM are you involved in now, right?
Yep, exactly.
well, you've got to. That's a beautiful. I mean, you guys are right on target because really the kind of questions revolve around not only converting, but giving the new person, as you say, the tools and the resources real time that they can have some true success that they experience. Because that's the biggest challenge in retention of people in your direct sales organization, getting somebody to refer people to your next summit, to your next coaching opportunity, to your next event, right? Is that they saw some value out of it themselves. So the more you can give that immediate attribution and make it easy, and then if they stick around long enough and you can get people to hang in there with you, it's almost natural, as Nathan and you guys were saying, is for them to then start doing it themselves. So,
Well,
but it's a journey, it's a process, right?
and imagine if you added on a contest to it, because I know when I did Mary Kay,
Mhm.
contests are a big fun part of it, right? So they'd have, do this, do that, right? Part of your checkoff list, right? It makes it really easy to do contests and find out, all right, who did it, who won, who participated, who invited the most people, who, right? So it makes that whole process a lot smoother, right? So why not have some fun with some contests and some rewards and awards at the end, right?
Yeah, and it minimizes the risk. I mean, the other question is what is, when I'm looking at, if I look at it from myself and I look at what I'm asking other people to do, it's not just whether I get paid, right? It's also knowing that my reputation isn't going to be at stake here,
Right.
that it's going to happen, it's going to go smoothly. It is simple, it works, and I can do it. I mean, that's what we talk about in all of, is if you're going to get duplication, it has to be simple. And what's simpler than just inviting somebody to a party if you're a pampered chef, or inviting somebody where they're going to get to see, experience recipes and get some cool products because they like the products, or we could have a tool time multi-level with guys getting together for tool parties, or I don't know, there's all kinds of things that are
I'll
out
wear
there.
my flannel.
I'm sure there's one of those out there, although 80%, as we know in the statistics, people that are in these direct sales happen to be those who run the world, which are women. So and that's the truth. I mean, I do everything I do to serve the women in my life, and the women do everything to serve women in their lives. So, I mean, I think women are basically in charge. Us guys like Nathan and I haven't figured that out yet, or don't remember it that often, or we try to ignore it so we don't get, I mean, we got to have fun with this, right? So it is what it is. So what other thoughts occur to you? Because again, I think we've hit on some really cool ones in terms of, retention, ability to get success. I think one of the things that Christine would say, I know, is what's the most powerful thing? Testimonies, right? Getting people who, I just got involved and I invited somebody to this event and I made $5. I mean, or I made 500. It doesn't matter. The thing is, people look for what they call social proof, right, Christine? I mean, from a marketing standpoint,
From a
how much
marketing perspective,
valuable?
absolutely. Right. And when they're not afraid to share, well, now you're getting more exposure. You're getting out in front of people. This is all good. And more exposure is a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing to say, I know Christine Deane because she's so awesome and she's very successful in this Mary Kay or whatever it is, right? That's not the harder task. The harder task is your people. If you're a leader, so how do you make your people feel good about their own ability to be successful with your toolkit, your platform. And that's what BeeKonnected and our P3 system is revolutionary. I mean, it's patent pending in that we're basically going to be able to offer that to literally any direct sales company or any affiliate. I mean, we talked last week about premium content. I'd like to kind of bounce back to that and think about, we can now create, or already have, in a lot of cases, people have premium content. And let's say that premium content has been sitting out there, and the only way to get it revitalized in your platform or in your world is to go do another campaign on Facebook and pay them a bunch of money on whether it's pay-per-click or what, give them stuff so they'll boost it enough to where you can get a few new people. What if you could take that, say, hey, I'm going to give everybody that wants the opportunity, and it could be maybe you have thousands of people who've already been successful with your program, whatever it is, AI or whatever program you are, right? And all of a sudden you can say, hey, I'm going to run this new premium content. I'm going to do it on BeeKonnected. You can pay for it on BeeKonnected. You can do this. And oh, by the way, you tell everybody on BeeKonnected, or everybody that wants to be on BeeKonnected, it's going to be a P3 event. Therefore, anybody that invites people, they're going to get their affiliate commission for bringing, whether it's to this program. So let's say you charge, $100, and you have a lot of affiliate programs are pretty lucrative, right? I mean, 40 or 50%, so I could, let's call it 50, and I get 50, and you refer somebody, you get 52, and I don't have to worry about it. And they come to the event, they get what they're going to get, and everything that they go out. So what kind of questions beyond that could we ask about to coaches to?
I mean, I guess where you're going, what I might ask is, I might go back to some influencers that have been around for a while and say, hey, like, what's some old content that needs it needs a facelift, right? And what's that you could revisit that maybe you shot 10 years ago? And like, what if I could go out there, I'll do a bunch of promotion to get this up and running, obviously work out whatever arrangement that is, but then get them exposure. What's an influencer really want? They just want exposure, right? Because the more exposure they have, the more business they create. And as somebody who maybe doesn't have an audience, or maybe isn't that influencer at that level, then like, you can help them, and I hate to say this, kind of ride their coattails as they go out and promote their audience, but you're getting FaceTime with their audience as well. So
yeah, there's a lot of those, like you say, the people who've been around for a while, have big audiences, and they're moving from, okay, this is my program, but they're also doing programs to help other people have similar types of programs, right? And kind of and I love this conversation. This is pretty creative. I hadn't really thought about this. So you guys are brilliant. Is that we could go to those people, that have invested a lot, and now they're trying to say, okay, how do I duplicate myself? And so they're out there and they have these programs that, okay, you can do what I do. That's, those kind of things. So what if I could give you a platform where everybody that comes to your introductory, like, speak to sell type of event, that they would be able to get into the program at a discount and be able to invite other people day one, to where they've already front loaded their market for their program. I think I love that thought process.
There's so many things you can do with the P3 system. We're just breaking the ice, right? There's a lot of possibilities on it. I'm going to have to hop off, but I will let you two continue the conversation. What a wonderful topic we have today. I love this topic.
Yeah, and there'll be more around these. And thank you, Christine. And I know you have a 2 o'clock meeting, so we're 3 minutes away from that. And we're not going to go much longer. I will say, Nathan, you've given me some real good thoughts in terms of what we might do. And I think that the one that, and since you're, yeah.
Well, the good thing is I've already started building a lot of this. So like the thing is systems, right? Like if we're looking at the quadrants in Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrant, right? Like everybody wants to be on the B and I side, right? And at the end of the day, what is a business? It's a series of systems. And what you just said is exactly right. If we can create and go to somebody and say, what if I can plug into your business a simple system that allows for duplication and more time for you? And if that is the power question that gets you in the door, to say, if that's a yes, give me 15 minutes to show you what this is about.
Yeah.
And then, but keep it simple, right? We don't want it to be complicated. And, I was actually just taking some notes as to a deeper level of the process that I've actually already started whiteboarding and going, this is like another layer of simple to this is, getting it down to that brand new person that joins and get them within 5 days into action so they get money in their pocket, right? Qualify for whatever bonus and whatever company or whatever it is. And by doing that, you have that instant success, that longevity and the retention. And you as the leader then have control over the conversation and have a higher conversion rate. So yeah.
Well, great. A good discussion, Nathan. Thank you for joining. Again, Christine's dropped off, but she'll see it in replay. Anybody that's been here before, that the way we conduct this BeeKonnected, What in the World, is one of discussing, bringing up ideas, invite people to attend, invite people to watch the replay. If they have questions, if they have thoughts, if they want to take it to the next level, we have other shows. And anybody that's a coach on this platform, or anybody really that is a warrior that wants to contribute to the discussion, you're invited to participate, like Nathan did, like Christine did, and like some of the other, as we call them, Sherpas. I don't believe we know everything. We just maybe have been a little further down the road. I've been on the platform since 2020. And I'm still learning stuff every day. Nathan just taught me 3 or 4 things today about ideas around leveraging the P3 and getting the attention of some real influencers who, it's as simple as, like you say, getting them on the platform to leverage what they've already developed. We're not asking them to develop a new program. They've got the program, and we're just giving them a new audience and a new tool to explode and get their impact, not only on people who consume their product, but people who want to share their product or service or event with somebody else. So thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, absolutely. Right. It's simplicity and it scales, and that's what it's all about. So,
yep. It's simple, it works, and anybody can do it. That's what we really want, right? That's how you change the world. Is my life purpose is one dream at a time, is you enable one person to do it, to enable another person to do it. And if you do that, it doesn't take long before there's millions of people that are being impacted by what we're doing here on BeeKonnected. So thanks for participating. We'll be back next Tuesday at the same time. I'm going to schedule, by the way, Nathan, I'm going to schedule an new orientation just to orient to the new platform. So anyway, but thanks everybody for being here, and we'll be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Actually, move it to 1:30. Look at your calendar. It might be 1:30. Okay.
All right.
We'll see you. No, we'll see you at 4 o'clock Central Standard Time for the 1% Club.